Okay, welcome to our very second episode of what we're going to call our segment here. I'm Jesse with the Greater Quad City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to call this, going forward, Bridging Cultures, Building Businesses. So hopefully we'll do a lot of that over the next quite a few weeks and years to come. And I just want to thank everybody for coming here and joining us. Here's my co-host. Let him introduce himself to you all again.
How you guys doing? Emmanuel Juarez, State Farm, coming at you. Honored to be here and be here with our second guest of our series. And we're going to let him introduce himself and let our viewers know who he is. And we're excited to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Bob Cervantes.
Thank you. Robert Cervantes, the soon-to-be mayor in Silvis. I take office May 6th, and it's I tried to push it to Cinco de Mayo the day before, but I couldn't get him to go along that. I was pushing a little bit too much. Being the second Hispanic mayor in the city of Silvis, Joe Trons being the first. And that alone in itself is something that, I knew Joe, God rest his soul, great man, great mayor, great alderman, and I can only hope to be somewhere where Joe was.
That's nice. And yeah, so obviously it's a new seat that was taken here. You took it over from the incumbent mayor, and I'm sure everybody in Silvis, like you said, you've been part of the city of Silvis for many, many years. So that part's not a surprise. I'm sure everybody's happy to have you there. At least, it's not someone new that they don't know. They pretty much know everything they get with you. And yeah, tell us kind of what you think with that, just your vision of Silvis and how far it's come over the years.
Well, 19 years as an alderman. I began my 19th year just as this new election started. My wife and I, we've been residents of Silvis we're going to be married 45 years in June. We've got two adult girls, 5 grandchildren. The sixth one on his way. We found out it's a boy. I still say that may be different, but my daughter Angela, she's pretty sure it's a boy. But the residents in Silvis have known me for my 19 years. I served the first ward, which is from Hero Street to the west side of 7th Street, and then up and around the Hy-Vee Illini Hospital area. But it's been a pleasure to serve these folks. I ran against two other gentlemen, two fine gentlemen. But in the long run, I think my time with the city and with what I've done, what I've tried to do, has been it was beneficial. I won with 45% of the vote.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the new grandchild coming and the others. Yeah, that's great. Now, Manny, you aren't as familiar with Silvis as everyone else. I mean, you're not a old school local Quad Cityan. What do you think of Silvis and everything you've seen so far since you've been here?
Well, I big supporter of Silvis, big supporter of Hero Street. I was in the Letters Home to Hero Street documentary they did. So was my brother, and we portrayed the Sandoval brothers, and so it was a great honor. And we have taken all of the Quad Cities and accepted it as our home away from home. And this, I feel like the community has definitely embraced us and welcomed us into the community. So this is my home, and I see the Quad Cities as my home, and the people, and then whatever we can do for the businesses, for all of the clients, our friends, our families. That's what we're here to do. And to help any way we can. I know with the Hero Street celebration that we have going on every year. Last year was the first year that we really tried to blow it up with
the Hispanic Heritage.
Yep, the Hispanic Heritage Month.
It was one of those events along with the city's Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I thought that it would be good to acknowledge our Hispanic community, not just those, but the whole community in a whole. And we kicked this off. I think the one night that we had it was, we seen about 2,600 come through the gate in that small block and a half.
Yep.
A lot of vendors, good music. It was a good time for everybody. And we'll be doing it again this year for our September 13th, I believe it is. We're going to kick it off. So I'm hoping that you guys will come back out and
we will,
and have a cold drink with us. And the new mayor, it'll be my first time as the new mayor for this event. So, yeah.
September 13th, guys, put in your calendars. We will be seeing you guys there. We'll be there DJing again, hosting, helping with the music and stuff. And then we're going to have our new mayor there. We had a great presentation. And I think this year we're going to keep getting it bigger and bigger and bigger and get some more recognition. I think Tony's was still, it was in between selling
Tony's
owners. And I think they just
yeah.
got their new owners in there. And we had the Lowrider Club that showed up. So let's come out and support this year. And it's going to definitely for a great cause and a great recognition as well. So.
It was a good time had by all. We got a little sprinkle here and there, but other than that, it was we went till 8 o'clock, and I thought that was a good time. As we discussed that on the committee, 8 o'clock was a good time to close everything down, give everybody a chance to get off the street and everything. It was a good night for everybody. And speaking of Tony's, she had a little vendor booth out there. Yep. She did good. We had, I think we had almost 20 vendors out there that day, up and down that street.
Yeah.
So, everybody made it. It was the biggest one that we've had and since we started them doing. But again, come out on September 13th. Enjoy yourself. Bring the kids. We're going to add a little bit more. We're talking a group of a mariachi group from Chicago, maybe coming down this year. We'll see what I can pull out of the mayor's hat and out of the mayor's back pocket and city funds or whatever. But we'll see. We're looking to change things up.
Good.
Well, yeah, that's that's exciting. I can't wait. Hopefully, we can support you any way we can, help get that word out there, and let people come out and have a good time. There's always something going on in September for Hispanic Heritage Month, so I think that's just a nice icing on the cake there for that. But on another note, though, Bob, really, I would love to see from your time here, obviously being in the administration there in Silvis, how much have you seen this area grow, and kind of what's your view on all that?
It's like we talked just before we started doing the interview, Jesse. This building, this whole area right here was at one time International Harvester. This was International Harvester when I was growing up. My father-in-law worked out here at International Harvester. I started work right after school out at the Rock Island Railroad, which is no longer there. Lots of things have changed. The Hispanic families that came from Mexico, they found work with the Rock Island Railroad, and then they moved on. They moved up. It's like if you see the video that you were part of, there's a quote in there. They've moved up and they've moved on. We now not just laborers from the railroad. You've got families that have got doctors, lawyers, what have you, teachers, directors like yourself, Jesse, that have taken on these roles. I'm 67 years old, so I've been around for a while. So I've seen the change in the Quad Cities, and right now I'm seeing the new mayor in Rock Island, an African American mayor in Rock Island, the mayor of Moline, Sangeetha. I don't even want to try to pronounce her last name because Madam Mayor may call me up and say, hey, that's not how you pronounce it. And I know her background and nationality. Reggie Freeman over here in East Moline, African American. And now you have an Hispanic. Our diversity in the Quad Cities is grown from the days where it was just a certain race that ran the cities. And now we're spread out. Good things are coming into the Quad Cities from East Moline, Silvis, and on down the line, Moline, Rock Island. So, yeah, the cities have changed. I remember when the ice cream guy would come by with his little bicycle and his little bells ringing on his ice cream thing. You don't see that anymore. Now you've got a van running around with bells ringing out of drive you crazy because you can hear them coming. But that, again, I'm going back to my days back as my childhood, and the kids knew what time to go home when the street lights came on. There wasn't no cell phones. There wasn't no computers and all this stuff that you have nowadays. And if you weren't home at a certain time, at least in the Hispanic families, you were going to get in a lot of trouble back in the days.
That's good. And where do you see it going, Bob? You've seen the change now. Where do you see it going in the next 5-10 years? As far as Silvis, East Moline, all the Illinois cities, where do you see the progression going? As far as for the minority culture, but as far as everybody as a unit, everybody as a whole.
I think that Manny, with like I said, with the mayors of diversity, there's a chance for growth everywhere because minorities. I'm not saying they make up the backbone of the Quad Cities, but they're out there.
Yeah.
Just by their voting power alone, you see that. There's Hispanic businesses, Indian businesses, Chinese, whatever. They're all out there, and it's. I want to see a lot of growth in Silvis, and the Quad City Hispanic Chamber is wanting to be part of that out in Silvis, and they're part of everywhere where the chamber is at right now. They're Rock Island, Moline, and I hopefully I can steal them away from Moline and bring them into Silvis, but we'll see if the Moline mayor won't mind me taking them for a few years. But growth is it's out there. There's some issues right now with the current president and federal funds and stuff, but we still have state funds. We have our state senator Mike Halpin, who's doing everything that he can to make sure our schools and our homeless are being taken care of, along with our state representative Greg Johnson. They're both doing their best on the dollars that we have. And I spoke with Mike this morning and on some issues. And he's right there. I mean, he's working with me on a project in Silvis right now, and we've got state dollars to work with. That's a good thing. He's got state dollars, and when they aim towards Silvis, even the better. So if Moline, Rock Island, and East Moline don't mind, I get a few dollars over here to Silvis. That's great. So
Yeah, that is one thing. Silvis has a lot of potential. I mean, there's a lot of different places throughout Silvis that have some land. I know they've started building a lot of new houses up in Silvis, even up above the hill there. I mean, so there's things growing and happening in Silvis that just before, that was just empty land and you never saw it there. So that's nice to see.
When homes come up for sale in Silvis, they're not on the market very long. Silvis has got that not too big like Moline or East Moline. It's just the right size and people that come over there and your neighbors, and I think we're around 8,000 in our population right now. Crime rate, we're not crime ridden, but like every city, we've got our issues with crime, but we've got a good police department. All of our public works and everybody on there are good. Our parks, our police, our fire, everybody works together. That's I guess what happens when you have a smaller community. You can work better with the folks that you're working for.
Mm-hmm.
My campaign motto was, when I ran for office, was people, progress, and pride. The people that elected us, and the progress that we're going to make in Silvis, that's going to happen, and the pride that you take in your city. And 19 years as an alderman, I wouldn't have been doing it for 19 years if I didn't have a lot of pride in what was going on in my city. And I think we're going to see a lot of good things happen, not only in Silvis, but like you said, Jesse, all through the Quad Cities. And I think that it's out there. It's going to happen. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of unspoken great landmarks and places to see and visit, and especially different foods to eat that are from the Quad Cities that are everywhere else that people don't realize that, oh my gosh, they're all over. I mean, I know I think there's a Happy Joe's in India now or something like that, and just there's stuff that's all over the place. And I know unfortunately, when we had the Gulf Wars and stuff, Whitey's was sending ice cream all over, and that's when Sergeant Camo flavor come up. But people all over the world were wanting Whitey's ice cream. There's just things that come out of the Quad Cities that are just surprising and really great.
It is. There's a lot of good food. I mean, anywhere you go up and down, from Silvis to, like I said, all the way to Rock Island, even Kelowna. I mean, there's a Whitey's, there's a McDonald's naturally in every city. I'm a big Hardee's fan myself. But yeah, they're out there. Given the chance to grow, we're going to grow. I mean, if we can get rail service, it's going to be even better. Because we're going to be able to, instead of driving up to that Cubs game, which is they're playing good ball right now, we can jump on a train, get up there, and come back. And vice versa for the folks in Chicago. They come down here and watch Midwest baseball at Modern Woodman Park to see how it shows you the difference. I mean, hustle and bustle up in Chicago, come down here. It's not the hustle and bustle. It might be a little hustle, but not so much bustle. And to watch the Midwest, our Bandits play down here, it would be just totally different from up in Chicago. Not knocking Chicago, Jesse. It's just different. It's different.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd be able to partake in the Chicago Cubs thing. I mean, I like the Cubs, but my wife's a Cardinals fan, so I don't know. So I don't know how that'll go over there. Yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, and it's like you say, the the pride part of like you said in your campaign. I think there's a lot of that here, and I think it's great for the Hispanic community to understand and know how deep the roots are in Silvis, as far as, you know, when the government went down there and got a bunch of Hispanic workers to get that railroad going and build it. And I know you didn't say it earlier, but his brothers played those two uncles that he played were my great uncles. So every once in a while, if you guys see me out and about, even though he's younger than me and I call him uncle, that's why.
That's our thing since we've met.
That was such an honor for me to, you know, not just know the two guys that played them, but as I got older, when I was young, I just used to slide down the slide there and scrape myself up on the concrete and sand, you know, outside of Tony's there on the hill and on Hero Street. And I mean, now that that's not there, though, I just kind of wish my kids could partake in that and get a scrape up a little bit like I did when I was young. But the pride of that and going back to that as I got older was just, it's really neat to see what those young men did there off of that street, and to know that that was kind of the foundation area with the Rock Island line that really brought all the Hispanics to the Quad Cities. And that's something to be prideful of.
Those 8 boys that went from Hero Street to World War II and Korea, I mean, they were. It was an honor for them. You know, yeah, as you went farther down into the 60s when they were burning their draft cards or whatever, these young boys from another country come. It's like, again, you get from the video. If you watch the Hero Street video, they fought and died for their adopted country. They thought it was just being an American. That was what we wanted to be. And they went off, and we lost those 8 boys. And from such a little street. But, you know, now as mayor, I'm going to try to push a little bit more for a little bit more recognition. And I did that in my 19 years as alderman. I couldn't push as hard, but now I can push a little bit harder, and we'll see where it gets me.
Nice. Yeah, and so yeah, man, I know you, your brother and you got a food truck, and obviously you're doing State Farm and everything else. You know, going from city to city, whether it's Silvis or Moline or whatnot. I mean, the food truck industry is just blowing up right now. Man. You know, the cities. I'm sure every city, including Silvis, just brings people in that just like, oh, I want to. Where are they at this week? Where are they at this month? I want to try them out. Are you guys pretty welcomed by all the cities and so forth, and loving how that's going? And
I think so. The Quad Cities, man, is such a beautiful place. You can get all kinds of food. They're just popping up from all over. We got African markets coming up, Asian markets growing. Like there's a new one, like sprouting up every week, which is so nice, from different parts of Asia. We've seen some northern Thailand. We got from Burma. There's some like markets from Togo, Senegal, and you know, being in insurance, I get to help people from different kind of specializing right now in small businesses. So I've been referrals from different friends. Hey, I need you to help this friend. They're opening up another an African church, and they need to get their church insured. So we do. I mean, it's just growing. I got here about 10 years ago, and in the 10 years that I've seen and witnessed from my eyes, it's a night and day difference of the Quad Cities in just 10 years. So I couldn't even imagine, you know, you born and raised here, like you said, we're standing on international harvester land, where now we have a beautiful establishment that you could see this in the Chicago skyline. I mean, this is a building that you would see in the big cities, but it's in East Moline, Illinois. I remember when I first moved here in East Moline, I talked to an investor, a guy, and he just kind of told me that, you know what, I don't see East Moline becoming much of anything. And for some reason, I didn't believe that. I didn't see that. I thought that, you know what, this has got potential. How come Moline's got all the potential and East Moline doesn't have the potential? And I'm like, I just have no bias to any Quad City, but I love to see the growth, and I love to see the little guys win. And we're starting to see that. And I mean, the classic in Silvis, I mean, people don't think about that, but when June and July come around, I mean, Silvis comes alive, you know, especially for golf. And people that normally play golf or know a whole lot about golf, they're golfers for that month, man. I mean, they are people turn. So it's just exciting to see how much growth in each little Quad City has, and me not being biased to any one, I love it all. I like you said, Kelowna is progress in Kelowna. When we first moved here, we had a little martial arts school in Kelowna, Illinois, right across from the Shell gas station, and it's growing. There's businesses growing. There's so much growth and there's so much momentum in every Quad City, which is just exciting to see. And it's even more exciting to see now that we got Latinos in power, we got brothers in power. We have. I feel like we are more united than we ever have been. As a whole. Which I love to see this momentum, and I just want to see it growing, and keeping it going. So it's with you leaders in power, getting your guys' help and your guys' voice to get out there, and to be loud, and to get out there and help the people go and help them with what do they need, and being those resources for small businesses, for the youth, for even in high school and in middle school. Getting them that knowledge of like, hey, where can we get help from? Where do we go to get help? And then where do we go for the future once we get that help? How can we keep it going?
I mean, it's true. Everything you said is true. I mean, we need to get, and I'm going to go, the political part of it is we need to get more younger people involved in the political game, especially the minorities. Mm-hmm. They need, because you've got a certain group that are making policy right now for us, mm-hmm. the minorities, mm-hmm. whether you're black, white, or whatever. We need to get people involved. I'm 67 years old, and I've played the game for 19 years, and I keep trying to find the young people to come in, but a lot of people see what's going on in Washington, and they just don't like it, and they think it's a trickle-down effect to your little local government, but it's not. Get out there and make a difference. Make a difference. I maybe only be a one-term mayor, because I'll be about 70 years old when I get out, and then depending on my health, maybe I'll stick around for another, but I don't know. But we need young people, and I constantly go out there and look, but they're just so disenfranchised by what they see in Washington. Maybe we need a Hispanic president. We've given everybody else a chance. We've given them a chance to do it. Let's give us a chance. We're the ones out there doing this and this. Give us a chance to get the big seat. Want to call it that, but I always tell my girls, be leaders, don't be followers. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of folks out there that follow every little trend that's out there. Everybody wants to follow the leader. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. Be a leader, don't be a follower. So,
yeah, and I agree. I think the youth that's a big obstacle to hit and getting them involved, especially in the political realm, because whether you go the last 4, 8, 16, 24. The last quite a few years, both sides have become so extreme that the youth are like, they don't like any of it, really. I mean, even the way we do business, the youth are changing the way we do business, even because their way of coming into it is so different than the older generation. And I mean, it's nice and refreshing to see, but hopefully they can take all of our past mistakes and positive things that we've done and really just make that where, regardless what side of the fence you're on, understand that, hey, we can all talk, we can all do business together. Yeah. And that's part of, this whole, bridging cultures and building businesses thing is really doesn't matter who we're all sitting across from. We all have the same essential goals in mind. We want to be there for our families and for our community and be able to walk outside and not worry about crime and make sure our kids are going to a good school. So, yeah, I think that's a great message for you to, to leave on not just your girls, but to the community as mayor, because even if they're not looking up to you right now at this age, they will pay attention and see some of the things you said. And as they get older, they'll be like, that's right. That's kind of what we need to do as they start to get older and get a little more vested interest in it. And yeah, I think that's very important and a good thing to say, because the youth is really where it's at. I mean, even from our age and then our age, there's just a little gap there, and it's all been done different. And I get inspired by watching, Manny and his brother and stuff. And then, even now seeing you as a Hispanic mayor, and actually, like I had mentioned to you, and I've actually mentioned to Sangeeta and everybody else that, the first time in my lifetime that we've had all minority mayors on this side of the river, it's really impressive as far as that's showing that not just our older generation, but to make that happen, our youth had to get out there and vote also to be part of that, because otherwise, if it stayed with the status quo how it was, we probably still would have been where we were. So it's exciting to see, and it's inspirational to see, how they hustle, and then, where you've gone, and actually sitting in the middle kind of leaves me a spot of, hey, I'm not done after this, and I got great people behind me too that can help me when I'm starting to get slow.
Oh, it'll never get slow, Jesse.
It's a good thing that generation after generation builds on what they started. This generation, and let's keep building to that level that we're maybe, like I said, and I'm serious when I say maybe a first Hispanic mayor, president, whether it be a female or a male.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. We're changing we came from Mexico to the rail yards to doctors to lawyers to maybe president of the United States one day. But each generation builds. We all want better for our kids, is what I'm getting at. Like I said, I've got grandkids, and they're proud of their papa being the mayor of. I've got one. My granddaughter Catalina. She goes to school, and she told everybody, "My grandfather's the mayor of Silver." And I picked her up from school one day, and the teacher put her in the car. She goes, "Oh, congratulations on being the mayor of Silver." Your granddaughter's been telling her. And I said, I enjoy that, and I'm glad my grandkids are looking at it that way. But these generations see what their grandpa does, and maybe as they get older, they may want to go to politics. They may want to do something else. But we're all building on that generation after generation, to build that level to a higher office, just to that level, I guess.
She might be one to go up for mayor as well after seeing Grandpa.
They're all trying to tell me how the office should be decorated and all this. I said, let me get the other mayor out of there before I move any pictures of my grandkids in the walls. So
got to have the refrigerator paintings on the wall,
Yeah. I've got a refrigerator, and the mayor's leaving me. It's a small refrigerator. He's never had anything in it, so I'm going to make sure that I have my soda pop in there.
Bob, what do you think that the Hispanic Chamber can do for Silvis? So we're, for Silvis, for all of them, what would you like to see? Because we're kind of like the Hispanic Chamber kind of advocates on behalf of all the little Quad Cities, both sides of the river. What would you like to see maybe the Chamber can bring acknowledgement to as far as for Silvis?
Well, I've been working with Jesse on a couple of projects actually. I don't want to let too much out on. Yeah. I know Jesse. Until we tie down things, but it's been easy working with Jesse since he was elected as our director for the chamber. It's just everybody on the board, and I'm sure our ambassadors too, are happy to have Jesse on board. He's leading us in the direction. He's got some youth, so he's got that energy out there. Which when I talk to him, he's, well, I'm over here, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And I said, man, this guy's got a Energizer bunny, and he just keeps going and going. So, but I'm glad. And it's been good for Silvis. Yeah. There's been a working relationship between Jesse and our city administrator, Jerry Leibovitz. We see some things that may be happening. Again, I can't say too much, but it's good that the chamber is on board. And from this level that we're working on now, I'm sure it'll go higher and higher in Silvis. Yeah. Because the name, the Quad City Hispanic Chamber, that word Hispanic may scare off some folks, thinking that it's just Hispanic businesses, and it's not. I know Jesse wants to get everybody involved. Every business, any small businesses, I guess I would say, Jesse, to come to us and say, hey, Jesse, I need a little help here. We need ribbon cutting. We need, can you do this? Can you help us out, advertise on your website, do this? And I know he's the man to do it. And I think all the ambassadors and board members are on board with Jesse to give him that, let's go and do it. We're his cheerleaders, and he's the guy out there running the football for us. So he's been good. He's the man we need there right now. It's good for Silvis, and it'll be for the rest of the Quad Cities that Jesse's at the helm to lead us. So.
Agreed.
Yeah, that is a big goal of mine, and I appreciate all that stuff that you had just said there about me, and hopefully it is. I mean, obviously I need a great team behind me to be able to do all that, but for all the cities around here, whether it's on the Iowa side or the Illinois side, you know, I'm not against or so stern-headed or got such a goal set in mind where I'm not where I'm in a position where I won't listen to everybody. Like I want to hear, hey, give me some ideas. What can I do to help you guys? Because I'm not necessarily in whatever realm of business they have, and so I won't see some of those obstacles, like some of the things that you're running into that you're discussing. And so there's a lot of times that maybe we are not helping, but let us know so I can make sure I help. Make sure maybe I'm not the guy, but Bob knows the right people, so I'm gonna call Bob up and say, hey, Robert, you got somebody that can help with this, or even one of your guys' connections. So hopefully everybody understands it. We're not perfect, but we're definitely willing to help everyone, and let us know where we can help. Don't just assume we know. Let us know, because I think there's a lot of opportunity in Silvis, East Moline, Rock Island, and there's just key areas that I've talked to all the mayors, and I mean, Bob has been more than great, and same with all of them. I mean, I'm actually very, very surprised and actually really honored to have a relationship with all of you, because everyone I've called and I've talked to, and I mean, everyone has messaged me right back. There hasn't been I'm getting the runaround and nobody wants to talk to me, and I get it though, because they're very busy, especially after some of their elections and that, and everyone's trying to pull them in 20 different directions, and but they've all been just phenomenal, and I think that's a testament to like what Rob's saying as far as the area really coming together as the Quad Cities, not just Silvis or Moline or wherever it is. It's the Quad Cities, and they're actually making some movements, and it's exciting. Like I couldn't have asked for a better time to be in this position with the mayors that we have on both sides of the river, and the communications I've had. I think it's really great. So I think I just can't wait to see what happens over the next, actually even short term, 6 months to a year. I think it's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of once people get over the fear of, like you said, the current political condition or uncertainty, or whether it straightens out and works in his favor or not in his favor, whatever it is, hopefully within that year we figure out where we are so we can attack it how we need to and go from there and really build the Quad Cities as a whole.
I'm hoping that, and I've kind of set a little goal as I come in on May 6th, 90 days. My first 90 days, I've got a lot of ideas. I've got a counselor, I've got a city administrator and a city clerk. That it's a team now. It's a team, and my first 90 days, and I'm hoping to see a little bit of change here and there. And with the Hispanic Chamber on board with some things, they'll be part of that change. I'm hoping that they'll be part of that change and continue success with the chamber. But as as Jesse said, with the new mayors coming in, I said we've got two senior mayors with Sangeetha and Reggie in East Moline, and then with the new Rock Island, Ashley and Harris and Rock Island, myself and Silvis. We're gonna get with them and see how they're doing their thing, and then maybe it'll rub off on us. And I mean, Rock Island being the bigger city, Silvis being a little bit smaller, but we'll take on Rock Island, we'll take on Moline, we'll take on East Moline. I'll challenge them to whatever they want to do. And any of the mayors want to challenge me, I'm happy to do it. So, but yeah, growth in the Quad Cities is out there. It's going to happen, like Jesse said, with these new mayors and the diversity with the mayors. It's there. People are going to respond to these new mayors, whether they be black, brown, or white. They're going to respond to them. Mm-hmm. They're gonna say, man, I'm going to open a business over here in Moline or in Kelowna or whatever, because they got good people. We get that small but a big city type atmosphere, and people in Kelowna that got a nice restaurant, brand new. Maybe some folks from Rock Island will come over and do them, and vice versa to Rock Island. And since Silvis is in the middle, maybe they'll stop into Silvis for a nightcap or something, or Frank's Pizza, or who knows. But yeah, I think, like Jesse says, there's good things going to happen. And I've set a goal of 90 days to start something. And with the Hispanic Chamber, I think you'll see that in the first 90 days.
Great. That's great. That's great to see that change. And they're already happening. 2025 is going to be a great year. A lot of movement in all the cities, but it's exciting. It's so exciting to see the smaller towns hanging in there, and then doing their part as a whole. And it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be witnessing it, because I'm seeing the change, and I think all of our citizens are also seeing the change, and what's to come. So it's just such a great time to be part of it here right now. Is there anything else that you want to leave let your viewers know, your listeners, people that follow you, anything that you want to let them know? Let them know what's coming up after the 90 days for Silvis.
Well, I can say what the next event in Silvis is our Memorial Day service out of Hero Street. It's an annual event that we have. Usually it happens a couple of days before Memorial Day because we like to keep it on a Saturday, which usually draws a little bit more for the folks that are off on the weekend and stuff. And that's scheduled up. Our Veterans Day service, November 11th, that always stays on the 11th because I believe that the veterans deserve their day on their day. And we always have it on the 11th day of the 11th hour of the 11th month. And so we have that. We have great speakers that come out from the Rock Island Arsenal for both events. And now with Hispanic Heritage, we've been trying to get an officer who's of Hispanic background onto our Hispanic Heritage event. Haven't had much luck on that, but the speakers are good. It's a good time. Silvis is a place to grow with, and we've got a lot of good businesses. I'd like to mention a few of them, but I don't want to cut out anybody from anybody else, so I'll leave it at that. We've got a lot of good, from pizza to tacos to hamburger. Come on over to Silvis, and the City of Progress. That's us, and then it's going to happen. City of Progress, and the City of Progress for all of them, from Moline and Rock Island, East Moline. It's there. It's going to happen. The diversity is there with the mayors and their councils, and let's see what happens. The next year, it should be some good things in the Quad Cities.
Well, thank you for being with us and
Thanks
taking the time today. It was an honor, and it was great. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Also, feel free to reach out to us at the Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Go to our Facebook page. Go to our website. Reach out to us and let us know, like we had mentioned in here. Tell us what we're doing. Tell us what we can help you with. If you want to open some businesses and you're not sure where to start, give us a call. We'll get you with the right people. We'll tell you whether it's Silvis or East Moline or Rock Island or Moline, wherever you're looking. We'll get you with the right people and help get that going. But the opportunities are there, as Robert said, and so please reach out, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everyone involved, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.